And the National Young Architect of the Year goes to Emma Sullivan for her revolutionary sustainable home design. The applause echoed through the grand hall as I made my way to the stage, my heart pounding against my ribs. This was my moment, the culmination of 15 years of hard work, countless sleepless nights, and unwavering determination. The crystal plaque gleamed under the spotlight, just like my dream house that had earned me this recognition. Then I saw them, my parents, pushing through the crowd, my brother Marcus trailing behind with that familiar entitled smirk. Even from the stage, I could see Mom's face twisted with that look I'd grown to dread. "Emma," she shrieked, her voice cutting through the applause. "Get down here right now." I gripped the podium, forcing a smile as the audience's enthusiasm faltered. The presenter shot me a concerned glance, but I nodded slightly, indicating I was okay. I wasn't, but I learned to fake it years ago. "This is inappropriate," I said firmly into the microphone. "We can talk after the ceremony." Dad reached the stage steps, his face red. "No, we talk now. Your brother needs a house. That eco whatever place you built, he deserves it more than you." The audience murmured, "My dream house, the one I designed and built from scratch using my inheritance from Grandma Rose, had become the talk of the architectural world. Its innovative, sustainable design had not only won me this award, but had also landed me several high-profile clients. Marcus stepped forward, hands in his pockets. "Come on, sis. You know I've been having a rough time since the divorce. My kids need a stable home." A stable home. Like the 3 he'd already lost to gambling debts, Mom snatched the crystal plaque from the presenter's hands. "Either you sign over the house to your brother, or you're no longer part of this family." "Mrs. Sullivan," the presenter intervened, "this is a private matter." "Private?" Mom laughed harshly. "Nothing's private about how selfish Emma's being. Marcus is family. Family shares." I thought about the years they favored Marcus, how they drained my college fund to pay for his failed business ventures, how they pressured me to give up my scholarships so he could use the money instead. But I persevered, worked through school, built my career brick by brick. "No," I said, my voice stronger than I felt. "That house is mine. I designed it, I built it, and I'm not giving it up." The crack of crystal against marble silenced the room. My award lay shattered at Mom's feet, pieces scattered like the remnants of our relationship. "Then you're not our daughter anymore," she spat. As security finally arrived to escort them out, Marcus turned back with a sneer. "Hope you enjoy your empty house, sis. Must be nice having no real family to share it with." The ceremony ended awkwardly, with hurried congratulations and pitying looks. I sat in my car afterward, staring at the pieces of my plaque that someone had carefully gathered into a box. My phone buzzed with messages from colleagues and friends, but one text caught my eye. It was from Aunt Diane, Mom's sister who'd been estranged from the family for years. "Saw what happened online. It's time you knew the truth about why your grandmother left everything to you. Come see me tomorrow." That night, I couldn't sleep. The house I'd built, my sanctuary with its living walls and solar arrays, felt different. Every corner held memories of design decisions, of late nights perfecting plans, of Grandma Rose's proud smile when I showed her the first drawings. She'd left me her entire inheritance, passing over Mom and Marcus completely. "You have her gift," she'd said on her deathbed, pressing her old locket into my hand. "Don't let anyone take that from you." I'd never opened the locket, respecting her wish to wait for the right time. Now, holding it under my desk lamp, my hands trembled as the clasp finally gave way. Inside wasn't a photo as I'd expected, but a tiny key and a folded note. "Blood isn't always thicker than water. When they show their true colors, visit Diane. She has the test results." Test results? My phone buzzed again. Another text from Aunt Diane. "Bring a locket. Your grandmother knew this day would come." I clutched the key, my mind racing. What test results? Why had Grandma Rose been so insistent about the inheritance going only to me? And why did she want me to wait until my family showed their true colors? Tomorrow's meeting with Aunt Diane would change everything. I just didn't know how much. Aunt Diane's cottage sat on the outskirts of town, its garden wild and untamed, the complete opposite of my parents' meticulously manicured lawn. I'd only been here once, years ago, before Mom banned all contact with her unstable sister. She opened the door before I could knock, her gray hair wild around her face, her eyes. so much like Grandma Rose's, sharp and knowing. "You look exactly like her," she said, pulling me into a fierce hug. "Come in. We have much to discuss." Her living room was a treasure trove of family history. Photos I'd never seen covered the walls, many featuring a younger version of my grandmother. But what caught my eye was a large portrait above the fireplace, Grandma Rose holding a baby, looking younger than I'd ever seen her. "That's not your mother in that photo," Aunt Diane said, following my gaze. "That's me." I turned to her, confused. "But Mom always said she was an only child until you came along years later." Diane's laugh was bitter. "Your mother wasn't even born when that picture was taken. She isn't Rose's daughter. I am." The room seemed to tilt. "What?" She crossed to an old secretary desk, pulling out a worn manila envelope. "Your grandmother, my mother, took in your mom as a baby. Her biological mother was our housekeeper who died in childbirth. Rose raised her as her own, never telling her the truth." My hands shook as I opened the envelope. Inside were adoption papers dated 1975 and a DNA test from 15 years ago. "Mom found out somehow, didn't she?" I asked, pieces clicking into place. "That's why she hated you both." Diane nodded. "She discovered the truth when Rose refused to sell the family land to fund one of Marcus's schemes. In her rage, she did a DNA test, hoping to prove she had more right to the property than me. It proved the opposite." "But why didn't Grandma Rose tell me?" "She wanted to protect you. Your mother, she became obsessed with bloodlines after that, desperately trying to prove she was more family than anyone else. When Rose saw your talent for architecture, so like her own, she knew she had to protect your inheritance." I pulled out the key from the locket. "And this?" Diane smiled. "That opens Rose's old studio, the one your mother could never get into. It's still there, behind her house. Everything she ever designed, every award she won. They're all waiting for you." "Mom always said that studio was just a storage room," I whispered. "She sold Grandma's house last year to pay off Marcus's debts." "No, she didn't." Diane's smile grew wider. "She tried, but couldn't. Rose put the house in a trust. It passes directly to you, but only after your mother showed her true colors. The DNA test was just insurance, proof that she had no legal claim." I sank into a chair, overwhelmed. All these years, the favoritism, the demands, the way they treated me. "Were your mother's desperate attempts to prove she belonged?" Diane finished. "And Marcus? He's just like her, feeling entitled to everything without working for anything." My phone buzzed. Another text from Mom. "If you're with that woman, don't bother coming home. Either sign over your house or you're dead to us." I showed it to Diane, who shook her head sadly. "Rose knew this would happen. That's why she set everything up the way she did. The house, the trust, even the timing of revealing the truth." "What do I do now?" "What Rose did. Build something beautiful, something true. Your mother's lies can't touch that." I looked again at the portrait of Rose and baby Diane, seeing now the same determination in their eyes that I saw in my mirror every morning. Blood might not have connected me to my grandmother, but something stronger did. Passion, creativity, and the drive to create rather than destroy. "There's one more thing," Diane said, pulling out another envelope. "Rose left this for you. Instructions for accessing your full inheritance. The house was just the beginning." I opened it with trembling fingers, reading the first line. "My dearest Emma, if you're reading this, you've finally broken free." 3 months after that meeting with Aunt Diane, I stood in front of Grandma Rose's restored studio, key in hand. The renovation had been my first project since the award ceremony disaster, turning the space into a perfect blend of past and present. Inside, her original drafting table still stood by the window, now accompanied by my modern design station. Her awards, rescued from boxes in Diane's attic, lined the walls alongside my shattered plaque, which I had restored and encased in glass. A reminder of the day I chose myself over toxic family ties. My phone buzzed. A text from Marcus. "Mom's in the hospital. Stressed, she says, your fault. Least you could do is sell that house and help with the bills." I set the phone down without replying. The last 3 months had taught me about boundaries, about choosing which bridges to burn and which to strengthen. The full inheritance had been staggering, not just money, but an entire architectural legacy. Grandma Rose had owned 3 sustainable development companies under different names, all now mine. The dream house I built? It sat on just one corner of a vast property she'd been quietly purchasing for years, all protected in the trust. Still settling in, Aunt Diane's voice came from the doorway. She'd become a constant presence in my life, filling the void with genuine support instead of manipulation. Just finished installing the last pieces, I smiled, gesturing to the wall of blueprints. Rose's and mine intermingled, showing how our designs had followed similar paths despite decades between them. She would have loved this, Diane said, running her hand along the drafting table, especially knowing her legacy survived despite your mother's best efforts to erase it. A car door slammed outside. Through the window, I saw Mom marching up the path, Marcus trailing behind her. Despite the no trespassing orders, they still tried these surprise visits. "Ready?" Diane asked, knowing our rehearsed routine. I nodded, pressing the security system's panic button. Within minutes, 2 police cars pulled up. We learned that legal consequences were the only language they understood. Emma Sullivan. Mom's voice carried through the walls. "You ungrateful, selfish." The police intercepted them before they reached the studio. I watched through the window as they were escorted off the property, Mom's face red with fury, Marcus filming everything on his phone, probably for some social media sympathy campaign. "You know they'll keep trying," Diane said softly. "Let them," I replied, turning back to my work. "They can't take anything from me anymore." My latest project sprawled across the design table, plans for an eco-friendly community development. Rose's companies, combined with my award-winning reputation, had attracted investors eager to fund sustainable housing. The dream house that Mom and Marcus had tried to steal would become just one of many, each designed to help families who actually deserved a fresh start. First applications came in for the housing program, Diane mentioned, sliding over a folder. "Thought you'd want to see them." I opened it to find stories of families struggling to find affordable, sustainable housing. Single parents, young couples, elderly residents looking to downsize. People who'd worked hard but needed a chance, not a handout. "This is what Rose wanted," Diane smiled. "Not just buildings, but a legacy of helping others build their lives." My phone buzzed again. This time, a news alert: Sullivan Sustainable Communities announces innovative housing project. Below it, a comment from Marcus. "That should have been mine. Dad says we'll contest the inheritance." I laughed, surprising myself. They still don't get it, do they? Even if they could challenge the trust, which they can't, they wouldn't know what to do with any of this. Diane squeezed my shoulder. "No, they wouldn't. They never understood that true inheritance isn't just about money or property. It's about values, vision, and the strength to stand up for what's right." Looking around the studio at the blend of Rose's legacy and my future, I felt at peace. The family I'd lost had never really been mine to keep, but the one I found, Diane, my team, and the community we were building, was worth more than any inheritance. "Time for the site meeting?" Diane asked, checking her watch. I gathered my plans, taking one last look at Grandma Rose's portrait on the wall. She stood in front of her first major project, eyes bright with the same passion I now felt every day. "Yes," I smiled. "Time to build something beautiful." As we left the studio, I saw another police car escorting Mom and Marcus off the property. But this time, I didn't watch them go. My focus was on the future, not the past they were desperately trying to preserve. Sometimes the family you're born into isn't the family you're meant to keep. Sometimes it takes losing everything to find out what you're really worth. Grandma Rose had known that all along. Now finally, so did I.